Hey, what's up gentlemen and ladies? Happy International Left-Handers Day. So I know that it's been a while since I've done one of these, I guess more topical news related videos, not counting the last Kingdom Hearts one that I did. The last one before that, honestly, I think was debatably like back in January, and it's August, but alas, here I am. I won't bore you guys with all the details, but let's just say there's going to be a lot of like different new types of content coming here to the channel. I'm experimenting with like different styles of videos and different projects, so I really hope that you guys enjoy what's in store. But enough of that, let's go ahead and talk about Final Fantasy VIII. So I'm actually really late to this party. Everyone was talking about this like a month ago, and my reaction is like, super late, but I figured that I would go ahead and just talk about it anyways, just for the record. If you guys have been living under a rock, you might not know that for the past couple years, Square Enix has been working on getting most of the Final Fantasy franchise available on modern systems. The PlayStation 4 specifically got Final Fantasy VII, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12 all remastered or ported onto it since, I don't know, I guess Square wanted the franchise to be more accessible. And then at a Nintendo Direct a while back, they revealed that all 5 of those games would be making their way to the Nintendo Switch as well, marking the first time that any of them were available on a non-PlayStation game system, as far as I'm aware, along with World of Final Fantasy Maxima, Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition HD, Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody, and even a remaster of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, all but 2 of those also coming to the Xbox One. Suffice it to say, Square was trying to get Final Fantasy really out there and get a lot of people to play it. But out of all of those games, there was one major one that was always missing from the lineup, one that Square seemingly purposely ignored or just forgot about, that being Final Fantasy VIII. Now, while all the other Final Fantasy games enjoyed being on the PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and even mobile devices for crying out loud, Final Fantasy VIII was always the one that was left out. And then June of 2019 rolled around, and as E3 drew closer and closer, rumors began to come up of a possible remastered edition of Final Fantasy VIII. Square Enix's conference rolled up, and game after game went by without us seeing anything from FF8 until literally right before the end. The second to last game announcement at that conference was for the fans who have been waiting.
Hey! Hey!
How long has it been? Finally, a Final Fantasy VIII Remaster was making its way to modern systems, but the question still remained. Why did it take so damn long? You know, people always speculated why FF8 in particular was the one that took forever. It didn't really seem to be a problem when they were porting like the Final Fantasy games to PC, or back when they were all releasing like on PS3, so what happened? Some people say that they couldn't get the original soundtrack to work because of the weird soundboard they used and how it was incompatible, and there was also some articles spreading about how Square had actually lost all of the original files for the game and they would have had to redo it from scratch, which for the record, that's not how that works, but okay. But one way or another, FF8 somehow ended up taking way longer to release than the rest, and that is a fact that Square was very well aware of. In a recent interview with Yoshinori Kitase, he revealed that part of the reason why it took so long is because the team actually put more work into this remaster than they were originally planning to, supposedly. They were actually planning on releasing it not too far apart from the FF7 and FF9 remasters, but right before finishing, the developers went, well, okay, what if we just redid the character models? And then they went, well, okay, how about the environments too? And one thing led to another. Next thing you know, it had been a year and this thing was still not close to being done, which I can kind of understand. I mean, if we're being honest, of the 3 Final Fantasy games on the PS1, I think FF8 is debatably the ugliest looking one out of all of them. Sure, it's the most realistic looking one, but when you try and make a game look more realistic, most times it actually ends up hurting them in the long run. Take a look at any old PS2 game that try to go for realistic graphics. They look horrible now, but then you look at something more stylized like Kingdom Hearts, or the extreme example that everyone always goes to, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which went for a more cartoony look, and they surprisingly still hold up pretty well. Now, I'm not gonna say that FF7's models look this way because of a stylistic choice, but you gotta admit that the blocky nature of them has its own charm. Why do you think that people print like little figures of the basic overworld models of the characters, which I want so bad, but they're always out of stock? Heck, people even cosplayed these super deformed PS1 blocky models, but you don't really see that with FF8 now, do you? So I really don't find it that hard to believe that this alone would have taken a long time with this remaster in particular, but okay, let's get to what you all knew I was gonna bring up sooner or later. The voice acting. Now, before I talk about the voice acting itself, I should say that very recently another rumor started popping up of the possibility for a physical release of this Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. The rumor stemmed from a pre-order listing in Play Asia for North America, Japan, and Europe, with the game priced at $60, which is an absolute insane amount to charge for a PS1 game, remaster or not. I honestly don't personally think that there's much validity to this. While yes, the $60 price tag might seem a bit steep for simply a download game, I'm pretty sure that this is just a placeholder price since they're not really sure on what the exact price is going to be and they just want to be safe. After all, a physical release would make no sense since neither Final Fantasy VII nor IX got physical releases on any system as far as I'm aware, and even the Final Fantasy X and 12 ones were only around $40. But okay, so like I said, last month it was found by a NeoGAF user that in the source code of the official Final Fantasy VIII Remaster website, there was a line that read, "Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is an RPG available in English and Japanese voiceover," which I think came as a shock to many people, myself included. Now, to be honest, I didn't really keep up with this news a lot when it was first found out, but if you were to ask me personally, I don't think that it's a great idea. I don't think that they should be going back and messing with these classic games, especially not in such a major way. I mean, if they're remaking Final Fantasy VIII, then by all means go right ahead. I think that would be expected even, but for a remaster? Why? Final Fantasy VIII is a product of its time. It's a PlayStation 1 game with PlayStation 1 game limitations. Now sure, adding in cheats and convenience features or fixing glitches like they did for the other remasters is all fine and good, but nothing about the game and its core really changes with that stuff. What does change, however, is when you add voice acting. Voice acting was not much of a thing back in the PlayStation 1. I mean, a few games had it, but it didn't really become a widespread thing until like the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era. Like, where would they even put all of this voice acting? During the pre-rendered cutscenes? No, because all of those were already designed to work without voice acting. In the actual game, you're telling me that they're gonna dub over a PS1 RPG with close to 100 hours of content and thousands upon thousands of lines for all the characters? Did they just dub the main characters? Well, then it's gonna feel weird to only have them with voice acting. Did they dub every single line? Well then yeah, that would be why it took so long to remaster this. You could have spent that money trying to get the FF7 remake out sooner, or I don't know, making Kingdom Hearts 3 not trash. And then now it's all inconsistent because then we're gonna have the remasters for Final Fantasy VII and 9 out on the same systems, but without voice acting. So why was the FF8 one the only one that got the special treatment when, let's be frank, it's the least popular and generally least liked out of the three? Or were they secretly working on FF7 and FF9 voiceovers as well? How much money and time did they sink into this? In my personal opinion, any way that you slice this, it's just not great. Now, I guess it's still worth keeping in mind that nothing has been technically confirmed so far. Square has not spoken a word of this as far as I'm aware, and it is possible, but I think very unlikely, that this was all either just a mistake or we simply misinterpreted what the website meant. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I know that like right off the bat, I'm already being super negative about this, but maybe the way that they handle this will blow my socks off and I'll be happy in the end. Or maybe it'll turn out that this wasn't actually true at all and we're all just idiots for thinking so. Whatever the case, be sure to let me know what you guys think about this news in the comments because I'm really curious as to what you guys have to say about this. Like, am I alone in thinking this, or is it kind of generally accepted that this might not be a good idea? Go ahead and let me know. But I guess either way, that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, as always. Stay tuned, Kupo.